$73,000. That's what you make now? You said it out loud once in your car alone after you got the offer letter. $73,000 a year. You grew up in a house where that number would have ended arguments, would have meant something. You accepted the job on a Thursday. You felt it for exactly one weekend. By Monday, you were already thinking about the next one. The promotion comes 18 months later, not because you asked, because you performed and they noticed and someone above you retired and the slot opened and your name was already in the conversation. The title changes, senior is now in front of it. The salary moves to $89,000. You shake hands, you say thank you, you mean it. That night you run the numbers. $89,000 minus taxes is $5,641 a month take home. You are currently spending $5,190. That leaves $451. You feel the gap. It feels like breathing room. You do not yet understand that breathing room is not the same as progress. You move apartments, not dramatically. One step. A building with a gym you will use for 4 months and then stop using but still factor into the monthly cost because it is included and therefore feels free. The rent goes from $1,340 to $1,890. You tell yourself the commute is shorter. That is true. It costs you $550 a month to save 25 minutes a day. You do not calculate this ratio out loud. The car starts making a sound in February. The mechanic says it's the transmission. $2,200. You put it on the card. You tell yourself you'll pay it off in 3 months. You pay the minimum for 7. This is the salary trap, not a single decision, a series of reasonable ones. The first rule: income is not wealth, it is the input to wealth. Most people treat it like the output. You are earning more than 78% of people your age. You have $6,200 in savings. You have $14,400 on 2 credit cards. You have a 401k that you contribute 4% to because that's what the HR onboarding suggested and you never changed it. You are, by most measures, doing fine. Fine is not a financial strategy. Fine is a holding pattern that feels like forward motion because the number on your paycheck keeps going up. The raise arrives and you feel it for a weekend. Then the baseline recalibrates. The baseline always recalibrates. This is not a character flaw. It is a documented, consistent, universal human response to income increases. Lifestyle inflation is not a mistake made by careless people. It is the default setting of every person who has ever earned more without a prior decision about where the difference was going to go. You didn't make a prior decision. Nobody told you to. You are 29, a colleague your age just bought a house. You see it on Instagram before she mentions it at work, 3 bedrooms outside the city. She got a 6.8% rate but the payment is manageable, she says, because she and her partner split it. You calculate what that means for her equity position in 10 years. You don't actually calculate it. You feel vaguely behind and close the app. You go out to dinner, $94 with tip. You split it evenly across 4 cards. Your share was not $94 worth of dinner, but it is now, and this is how it works at this table with these people who also make decent money and also have nothing to show for it and also don't talk about it. Nobody talks about it. Everybody is doing the math. The second rule: the gap between what you earn and what you keep is the only number that matters. You have been optimizing the wrong number. At $89,000, your gross income has increased 21% in 2 years. Your net worth has increased $1,400. You added more to your credit card balance than to your savings account in 11 of the last 24 months. Not because you are reckless, because your expenses are living at the ceiling of your income and your income keeps raising the ceiling. There is a version of this that ends at $140,000 a year with $22,000 in savings and $31,000 in debt and a lifestyle that requires every dollar of that salary to maintain. You have met people there. They do not look trapped. They look busy. They look like they are winning. They are in a prettier version of the same room you are in now, and the room does not have a door they can see. The raise feels like progress because it is movement. Movement is not direction. You get passed over for the next one, not dramatically. Someone else's name comes up in the conversation. Yours does not. You find out through a reorganization email that says nothing directly but means everything if you know how to read it. Your manager has a one-on-one with you that week. He says your work is valued. He says timing is everything. He says there are other opportunities. You update your resume that night, not to leave, just to have it ready, just in case. You have been updating it just in case for 3 years. Here is what the resume cannot show. You have traded 2,190 days of your finite productive capacity for an income that has grown 21% while inflation over the same period grew 18%. Your real wage increase is 3% over 2 years. Your lifestyle grew 14%. You are running in the direction the treadmill is moving and calling it a commute. The third rule, a salary is a lease agreement on your time. You pay with hours, they pay with dollars. The lease does not build equity on your side. You have a friend who left the industry at 27, started something. It was small and awkward and made $800 a month for the first year, then $2,200. Then it had a bad quarter and he almost quit. He didn't. You watched this from a distance with a mixture of respect and relief that you hadn't done it. Too risky, you thought, too uncertain. He is 31, his business clears $11,000 a month. He does not have a manager, he does not have a performance review cycle, he does not check an org chart to understand his own future. He has an asset, you have an income. The distinction felt academic at 27, it does not feel academic now. You are not behind because you made bad decisions. You are behind because you made the expected ones. Expected decisions produce expected outcomes. Expected outcomes at your income level in this economy in this decade look like fine, look like stable, look like a person who has their life together from the outside and checks their bank balance with a specific kind of quiet dread that you have never said out loud to anyone. You get the next promotion, $104,000, senior II, there is a bonus structure attached. The bonus is discretionary, which means it is real in good years and theoretical in bad ones. You factor it in anyway, everybody does. $104,000 minus taxes is $6,580 a month. You are currently spending $6,100. The gap is $480. It is almost exactly the same gap you had at $89,000. The gap stays the same because you are not managing the gap. You are managing the income and letting the expenses follow. You open a brokerage account, you put $2,000 in it, you buy 3 stocks you heard about and 1 index fund. The stocks move sideways for 4 months. You check them more than you check your messages. You do not add more money. You do not have a plan for adding more money. The account sits at $1,940 after a small dip. You stop checking. This is the closest you have come to building something. You stopped 6 inches from the start line. The fourth rule, the salary trap, is not about the salary. It is about the identity the salary builds around you. You are a person who earns $104,000. That identity has gravity. It requires a certain apartment, a certain car, certain dinners, certain trips, certain clothes for certain rooms where you need to look like someone who earns $104,000. The identity is not vanity, it is social infrastructure. It is real and it is expensive and it compounds in the wrong direction because none of it is an asset. All of it is a cost of carrying the version of yourself that your income created. The cage is not uncomfortable, that is what makes it a trap. A comfortable cage with a salary attached and a title on the door and colleagues who are in the same cage and have collectively agreed not to call it that. You are 33, you earn $104,000, you have $9,400 in savings, you have $19,200 in a 401k, you have $17,800 in credit card debt, your net worth is approximately $11,000. A person earning $34,000 who has been investing $200 a month since they were 24 has a higher net worth than you. You know this is possible. You do not believe it is true of your specific situation, it is. The shift is not a moment. There is no email, no meeting, no number that triggers it cleanly. It is a Tuesday. You are in the car. You are running the same calculation you have been running for 4 years, income minus expenses, and for the first time you run a different one. You calculate what you would have if you had invested the difference between your take-home and your previous lifestyle every time your salary increased. You use 10.1%. You use the actual dates. You do the math slowly. The number is $91,000. That money does not exist, it was real. It passed through your hands in increments too small to feel individually and too large to ignore collectively. It went to apartments 1 level above what you needed, to dinners that you do not remember, to a car payment that ended and left nothing, to a lifestyle that required your full salary to maintain and therefore left nothing for anything else. $91,000 that could have been the beginning of something that didn't require you to show up. The fifth rule, the exit from the salary trap, is not a higher salary. It is the decision that the next dollar of income growth goes somewhere the salary cannot touch. You do not need to quit. You do not need to risk everything. You need to make one decision that your income does not get to make for you. The next raise, the next bonus, the next margin you create, it goes somewhere before your lifestyle sees it. It goes into an account that does not have a debit card. It goes into an index fund on automatic. It goes toward something that earns while you sleep, something that does not require you to perform, to show up, to be reviewed, to wait for someone above you to retire. The salary will keep arriving. That is fine. The salary is not the problem. The salary is the input. The problem is that the input has been going directly to output with nothing building in between. You are not behind because the system failed you. You are behind because you were never shown the gap between earning and building, and so you optimized for earning and called it a plan. It was not a plan, it was a very comfortable place to stand still. The raise is coming. The question is not what it will be. The question is what you are going to do with it before your life decides for you. It already has an answer ready. You need to have one first.